Hello everyone, very good morning. Very good morning, guys. Just give
Morning.
a second. We will
Okay.
start the session.
How is your health?
Yeah, good, good. Let me share my screen. Okay, guys. So let's just what we have discussed in the previous session. So we discussed about how to work with the retention period, and then so we saw that how to create a different tables, and then so we how to implement the time travel option, right? So by using the retention time period, that's what we have discussed in the previous session. So now what we will do is today's session we are going to discuss about the task implementation. So how to implement a task, right? And then so what is the purpose of that? So generally if you observe here the tasks, if we are something, so before that, when you are working with a tasks, right? So we can perform three things at the same time. We can able to implement three things. So one is, so we can manage dependencies. We can manage dependencies. Another thing is we can assign to specific virtual warehouse. Virtual warehouse. So that is the so another thing. First thing is we can able to manage dependencies, like so one after another one, and like parent and child. We will discuss that. Another one is we can assign to specific virtual warehouse. We can able to assign it to the specific virtual warehouse. Change the font. Okay. So now, so another one is, so we can schedule. We can able to schedule these three things. We can able to perform so by using the task implementation. So we can manage the dependencies, we can assign that to the specific tasks, and then we can assign to specific virtual warehouse, and then we can assign to the specific schedule. It means so based on the schedule the task is going to run. Now what exactly the task is? Task means if you are implementing anything in our Snowflake, so we can consider it as a task. Let's say creating a table, or inserting a data into a table, or updating something, so or creating any pipe, so creating any stream, everything we can consider it's a task. It's nothing but one execution. We are doing something, so in a Snowflake we can consider it as a one task. So but when you are implementing that execution with these capabilities, we can call that as a task. We can call that as a task. Now so here,
Dinesh,
if you observe, yes,
is it getting recorded?
yes.
Okay, okay.
So by default, it will be recorded every day. Yeah. So now, so if you observe here, so if you like observe the virtual warehouses, right? Here we have only one virtual warehouse, right? Now this is your complete account. We are all are working in one project. So all are having this particular account details. Everyone will have a different usernames, right? So when they log in with the username and password, by default, your username and password based on your role, it will be assigned to specific virtual warehouse here. Here you can able to see only one virtual warehouse, but when it is coming to that virtual warehouse, so we can able to assign specific users to specific virtual warehouse. The same way, when you are running something, we can decide that which virtual warehouse we have to use. Here, if you observe, here only one virtual warehouse is available. But so you will have like 3 to 4 virtual warehouses, depends on our project implementation. We will come to that when we are discussing about virtual warehouses. Here, if you are going to select, right, the same way, so when you are running something, we can able to select which virtual warehouse that particular task has to be run. So that is assigning to the specific virtual warehouse. When it is coming to schedule, right? Schedule, you can able to assign it to specific time period. For example, every 5 minutes we need to do some task, or every 10 minutes we need to do some update, or every 10 minutes we have to pick something from one table and then we have to load it into another table, right? It means it's a repetitive task. It's a repetitive task. When we are doing repetitive implementation, we instead of running manual thing, we can schedule it. We can able to schedule it. So that is nothing but a schedule. And coming to dependencies, right? Here we have dependencies like, so parent and child dependencies. Now when it is coming to the task, right, in our account, in one Snowflake account, you can create 1,000 tasks all together. 1,000 tasks all together. Remember this. You can create 1,000 tasks all together. It means within a account, including all users. This is a, if this is a account including all the users. So we can able to create all together 1,000. That is a limitation. And when it is coming to the parent task, and we can create for one parent task, we can create 100 child tasks. Child tasks, that is a limitation. It means each parent task can have 100 child tasks, not more than that. For example, if you observe here, let's observe this diagram. If you see this one here, this is a root task, or we can call this as a parent task. This is a parent task. When it is coming to the parent task, each parent task can have, see this one, subtasks. These are child tasks. Task B, task C. Both are child tasks for task A. And coming to task D, E, and F, if you observe here, D, E, and F, these are the child tasks for task B. Task B. And coming to task C, if you observe, G and then task H, both are tasks for task C, right? So here, so if you observe, H is a child task for task C, C is a child task for task A, right? Task A is having two child tasks. Each child task again, they are having a sub child tasks, right? They are having again child tasks. Now, if you observe this here, one task, suppose task B, can have direct connectivity like this up to 100, not more than that. That is, one parent task can have 100 child tasks directly. And when it is coming to this here, so this particular C also can have 100 child task direct connectivity. But one restriction here, one child task cannot be connected from, so derived from two parent tasks. It means task B, if you observe, it's connected to task F, right? So if the same thing, if you have a link from task C to task F, then that is a invalid one. It means two parents cannot have, so two parents cannot have one child task. So one parents can have one child task. That is the so meaning of here. So now let's, if you observe each and every task when you are running, when you are starting a task, right? We will call it as a resume. We will call it as a resuming a task. When you are resuming a task, always, so we have to approximately we need to assume, so how much time the task is going to be finished. so that so we can understand so frequency of a time, so within which frequency we have to reschedule that particular task. Let's say every 5 minutes once, every 5 minutes once. So if you wanted to run a task, then so we can, like, within the 5 minutes the task has to be completed. If it is not complete, what will happen? So it will keep on waiting for the task to complete. That's why approximately we will come to so one conclusion that this particular task is going to run this particular time, so that we are going to so run the task. In a task, if you have a sequence of tasks like this, in a single run, we can have like the sort subtasks, and then we can able to so create the multiple tasks. All tasks together, see this one, it is going to take 5 minutes. It means every 5 minutes, so we are running a task. We are running running a task here. Now, so let's observe here so how to create a task and then how to implement that. Before creating that, so we'll so need to remember that one thing, we can able to create a task by account admin or security admin. Only these two roles can able to create a task, not every role. This is one of the certification question. Remember this. Account admin as well as security admin. Only these two only roles only can able to create a task, not so other roles. Okay. Now let's come to this. For example, so if you wanted to create a task here, so how to do that? We will see. So here, so let's create a task here. What we are going to do is before that, so we are creating a table name as employee, and then we have a column names and data types. Now let's observe this one. So, but when you are creating a column name employee ID, if you observe increment, so we have given integer data type increment. We have given auto increment. It means it will increment by so how much amount, so how much of the value we have given increment. So every time when it is inserting the data, it will increment by that number, and it will start number. So from where it has to start, it means it will start from 1, and then every time it is inserting, it will increase the number. This is generating a sequence number. This is the one way of generating sequence numbers here. So what we are giving, we are giving a column name and then data type, and then we are giving a condition auto increment and start with 1, increment by 1. And we have another column employee name, so we are giving default value as snowflake. Let's assume snowflake, we are giving a default value. It means every time we are inserting the data into this employee table, we will get the default value of snowflake if you don't insert any value here. And we are having a load time, right? Totally we have 3 columns. We are creating 3 columns here in this particular employee table. So in the public schema, right? If you observe this, the table has been created, and then we have 3 columns here. We have 3 columns here. Now our requirement is every 1 minute, every 1 minute. So we have to load the data into this particular table. Every 1 minute we have to load the data into this particular table. But we don't want to run it manually. We don't want to do it. So insert the operation manually, but it has to insert. So for that, what we have to do is we will create a task here. If you observe here, see this one. So what are the things we are implementing here? Create task, create task, task name. We are giving a task name, and observe this, just a second. Keep my charge. Sorry, just observe this. So what we are doing here, so we are creating a task. So this is a task name, and then we are assigning this particular task to this virtual warehouse. Observe this one. So what is the virtual warehouse? Here we have dev underscore virtual warehouse. So we have to give same name, dev underscore virtual warehouse. This is the virtual warehouse. So we are telling this particular task to run in this particular virtual warehouse. And schedule, observe this one. Schedule, we are giving 1 minute. 1 minute, we are giving 1 minute here. So and so as, so what we are giving, what we need to so implement in this particular task. So we are trying to implement, so insert command, insert into this particular table load time. So value, we are giving current timestamp for this particular load time data. And at the same time, we are telling that this task has to run every 1 minute. See this one, every 1 minute we are telling to run the task. And so we are assigning this particular task to this particular virtual warehouse. Observe carefully here. We are doing three things here. One is, so we are doing a execution within this particular virtual warehouse for this specific schedule time. Schedule time we are giving every 1 minute. So here, so one thing, one restriction, when you are giving schedules, right? So this particular schedule, so we cannot give the schedule so more than 8 days. So more than 8 days of the schedule, it is not possible. So that is a one limitation here. So and always we need to give schedule time here in the form of minutes only, in the form of minutes only. And once we created a task, once we create a task, always task will be in suspended mode. It will be in a suspended mode. If you observe here, let's create a task here. So we are creating a task. So the task body, what you are doing, the execution, right? It will be available. Now we have created a task. And if you check the task, so for example, show tasks, observe the task status here. See this one, this is a task name. And then so which database, so where it is available, it is showing. And then this is a which virtual warehouse we have assigned, and then what is the schedule time. And then just observe the predecessors, so we will discuss about this. And so we have the state, observe the state of the task. It is telling that this particular task is in suspended mode. This is in a suspended mode now. Now, coming to this, so definition, what we are trying to insert in this task, we are trying to insert, we are trying to execute insert statement in this particular task. Observe this one, insert into this particular table, and then we are giving values, right? This is the execution what you are doing. But what is the task status? It is in a suspended mode. It means it is not running currently. It is not in a schedule. It means if the task is in a suspended mode, we can consider that this is not in a schedule. Then, so how to like bring it to the schedule? So when when the task is running, so how to like so bring that into the schedule time? So for that, so what we need to do is, so here, if you observe, the task is in suspended mode, right? What we need to do, we need to alter task name. So we have to use resume. We have to use resume. Now, if you observe, we created a task, but if you check the data here, do you have any data in the task here? See this one. Do you have any data in this particular one? No, right? Just we created a so column names and data types. That's it. We don't have anything here. We don't have any data here. Now we created a task, but the task also is in a suspended mode. Now, if you wanted to run a task, what you need to do is we have to use alter task, task name, and then resume. We have to give it to the resume. Observe this, alter task, task name, and then we are assigning to resume state. So when you are giving it to the resume, what it will do is the task will start. Statement executed successfully, the task will be in a started mode. If you observe, see this one, show tasks, observe this. What is this? Started. Previously, what is the status? It is in a suspended, right? Now, what is the status? It is in a started. Now, when it is started, what it will do is every 1 minute, it is going to insert the data into this particular table by using this insert command within the task. It will assign that, it will tell that every 1 minute it has to run, and then every 1 minute it has to utilize this particular virtual warehouse only, and it is going to execute this particular implementation. Now let's observe this every 1 minute once. So if you check the data here every 1 minute, so automatically until you stop the task, until we stop the task, it is going to insert the data into this particular table. It will keep on inserting. Now observe this one, the one row it inserted employee ID 1, and then default name what we have given, snowflake we have given, and then load time. If you observe, this is the load time. So what is the, so when we have loaded the data into the table, right, it is giving the complete information here. So now, so one thing, if you observe this, so this one again every 1 minute once the task is completed, so it will also try to run for every 1 minute. So we will see that, and until you stop the task, until you stop the task, it is going to run. Now if you observe, once the data is inserted, again what is the status, again the status is started only. Until you suspend this, it will keep on inserting the data into this particular table. Now if you let's observe again, so let's wait for some time, and then if you can able to observe, so we can able to see one more record here, so with the so entry. And when you observe this one particular task, this task is stand alone task. We can call it as a standalone task because there is no dependency for this particular task. If the task is not having any dependency, remember that that particular task, so we can call it as a standalone task. We can call that as a standalone task. Okay, so now let's observe this. So here again the data, whether it is inserted or not. Now observe this one, it inserted one more record. See this one, so employee ID incremented one, and then so we are not doing any manual operation here, right? We are not inserting any data. Automatically what it is doing, every 1 minute, so it is going to run that particular execution, and it is going to insert the data into this table. So if you wanted to see that in a query history also, it will not be visible because everything is running from the sub backend, right? So just so you can able to see the task, what is the task execution, so what is happening here, and then so when you like resume the task automatically, so the task you can able to see, so what exactly the statement we are going to run, right? So that is so one thing. Now this is standalone task. Now let's come to dependency task. When we have any dependency, so let's say for example we will take two tables, the parent and child. So once the parent table is having a data, then only the parent table data the child table has to pick. That is our requirement. Let's assume that simple one. So for example here if you observe, let's take that, let's create a parent table. We have create the parent table. and same thing, auto increment, start with 1, increment by 1, and then table name is different, employee underscore parent. We are creating a parent table. The same way, so we'll create the parent task. If you observe the task also, we can create it as a parent task, create a replace task, task name, and then so warehouse. So which warehouse we have to run? This one is a dev virtual warehouse, which virtual warehouse which we are having, and then schedule time 1 minute, insert into the parent table, and then so same values we are inserting, same thing we are inserting. Once this is having a data, once this table is having a data, what we will do is in a child table, we will insert the data. So for that, so what we will do, we will create another child table here, one child table. So we have two child tables we have in the like nodes, we can able to so create it. So just give me 1 second. Yeah. Sorry guys. Let's observe this one. So here when it is coming to so this one, so we have the created a so child table, and then so when it is coming to the parent we have created, and then we will create a child table here, one child table we have created. If you observe child table, it's a blind, so we are not giving any increment by values and all those things. Just we are creating a column names, and then so along with the data types, right? Okay, so now so what we will do is here when it is coming to this one, the child task, so we will create a child task. But in the child task, if you observe the difference here, let's observe this. See this one, what we are doing here is so we are creating a child task. See this, create or replace task, child task name, and then warehouse. We will give dev or so virtual warehouse and alter. So if you observe, see this one, instead of giving a schedule time, previously what we have given in the parent task, we have given schedule time as 1 minute, schedule time as 1 minute. But when it is coming to the child task, when we are giving the child task implementation, in a child task, we are giving instead of schedule time, we are mentioning alter, alter, so task name. See this one, after. So what is this after? After task name means after completion of this particular parent task, it has to run this particular child task. That is the meaning of this. After completion of this, it has to run. So we here, when it is coming to why we are giving a dependency here, why we are telling after completion of the parent task only it has to run. If you observe the statement, our statement here, what we are executing here, the task body, we are implementing insert into the child table, the call data, this particular data into the child table from, see this one, parent table. If your parent is having a data, parent table is having data, then only we can able to execute this particular execution, right? Then only we can insert the data into this particular table, otherwise it is not possible, right? Same way here, so when you are created a task like this, So when you created a task, so with this, we will used to call it as a dependency task. We can call this as a dependency. But when it is coming to, if you observe show tasks, you can able to see, so proceed as here. Now observe this here. So we created three tasks here, like a child task and then parent task, and then observe the status. Oh, still it is running. Let me stop the task, the first task. If you observe, see this. So we didn't stop it. Still it is keep on inserted the data. See this one, it is keep on inserting the data from the backend. And if you wanted to stop it, what you need to do is alter task, task name, and then we have to give suspend. We have to give the command as suspend, alter task, task name, and then suspend. Now observe this, we are stopping the task. Now it stopped. Now if you observe the status again, so of the tasks, the task will be in a suspended mode. Task will be in suspended mode. Now observe this one. Previously it is in a started mode. Now it is in a suspended mode. So one more difference if you observe here. So for this, so predecessors. So there is dependency. See this one. There is dependency. And so which task we have dependency on other task. For that particular task, we don't have schedule time. Observe this one. We don't have schedule time. Schedule time we don't have for this particular thing, right? So this particular thing, see this one, we don't have schedule time. Only standalone task and parent task will have schedule time. Dependency tasks will not have any schedule time. Now, same thing we can able to see it here. And when you are triggering these tasks, right? Whenever you are having parent and child dependencies, parent and child dependencies like this, we have to be careful when you are triggering the tasks, when you are triggering a task. So what you need to do when you wanted to run a task, so you have to use alter task, task name, and then resume, right? Here, so we have two tasks, right? So one is so parent task, another one is a child task. One is parent, this is a parent, right? Parent task. Another one is child task. Another one is child task. The same thing
Dinesh,
you observe here. Yes,
suppose if we have n number of child tasks, do we need to manually resume everything?
not required. We can give like this after completion of this particular task.
But by
So,
default, child tasks also showing suspend, right?
hmm, so when you are resuming, right, there is a sequence. So we will
Mm.
see it here. So if
Okay.
you are not running any tasks, right? If you are
Mm.
not started anything, then by default it will be in a suspended. By
Right.
default, all the tasks will be in suspended. Even if it is a parent or child also, see this one, both is in a suspended mode. So once
Okay.
we have triggered, once we like resume, then only task will come into the picture. And here, but there is a sequence here. So we need to understand this. So when you are running, right? When you are running a task, always remember you need to run child task first. Once you run the child task, then you need to run your so parent task next. This is a sequence. So sequence order. So let's come to like suspend. When you are suspending, so we need to suspend so parent first. So then, so we need to suspend child next. This is the order. Let's assume, so to easily remember, suppose, so we have invited our friends for like lunch or dinner. Let's assume they came with so kids. okay, their family, like kids and parents both are available. To whom you will give the food first? Let's assume we will give it to the parents. Sorry, we will give it to the kids, right? Kids are always dependent on the parents. We will give it to the kids. Parents will take care of them, right? So once the kids started, then the parents can start if they can like manage themselves by themselves, right? So first we need to start with the kids. Same thing. For example, same scenario. Assume that we have a limited quantity. Both are started. Let's assume both are started, so we have a limited quantity. In that case, what we will do? We will ask the parents to stop first. We will tell them parents to stop first. Then the last we will ask the child to stop. Right? So that is a sequence. Always we will give the priority to the children's, right? The same way here, when you are resuming, we need to resume child task first. Then we need to resume parent task. If you don't do that, so if you, for example, if you started the parent first, then if you start a child next, so child doesn't task doesn't understand from where it has to pick, from where it has to pick the parent task. That's why, so first you need to start the child task. Once you started a child task, it will wait for the parent to complete. So once it is completed, immediately it will start. When you are stopping also, first you need to stop the parent. Once you stop the parent, then only child will be stopped. So otherwise, if you try to stop the child first, it is not going to work. Now let's assume here, instead of running the child first, I am trying to trigger the parent first. See this one, parent is started. Now if I try to child next, if I try to execute the child next, observe this error, right? So root task is not suspended. It is not allowing to start the child task. Let me suspend that. Now, first, what is the first? We have to start child first. Now observe this, triggered child first. Then we are trying to trigger parent. Now observe this, both are started. Just a minute. Sorry. Okay. So here, if you observe, show tasks, both the tasks will be in a resume mode. Show tasks, where it is here. Observe this one. What is the task status here? Started. This one also started, right? But what this particular child task will do? Child task will wait for the parent to finish, right? If you observe the table, the parent table and then child table, this is the parent. If you observe the data, we have one record. So once we get the data here into the parent table, what is the condition we have given for the child? It is going to pick all the data from the parent table and it is going to insert the data into the child table, right? Let's check the data here. See this one, it has inserted, right? Again, what we'll do, every 1 minute, the parent table will have another record, right? When it is having another record, so what is the condition we have given here? Just dump the data from the parent table and then insert into the child table. So what it will do? Again, it will pick all the records, whatever the records is available on parent, and then it is going to load the data into this particular table, right? Let's observe this. So here, refresh it, can able to see parent. Again, observe this one, 2 rows we have, right? 2 rows we have, it is incrementing. And if you observe this particular thing, though for the child, again these 2 rows, again it will be dumped into the child table. See this one, So first time it has inserted this one from the parent table. Second time it has two records. All the two records it's picked and again it has inserted into this. So particular the child table. Again, if you have one more record in the parent table, what will happen? For one more record, if it comes, once this parent completes, again this child table is going to insert all the three records one more time into the child table. So because of the condition what we have given here, right? So now what is happening here? Child table, it will keep on wait to finish the parent task. So once that particular parent task is finished, so how it will understand it is finished or not? See the condition. What is the condition we have given? We have given the condition after after the task name. It means that after this task is completed, we have to start the child task. That is the meaning of this. So after that, it will going to stop it. And if you observe, so one more thing, when it is coming to like suspending a tasks, again, so we need to like follow the sequence first. So which one we have to suspend here? Always we need to suspend the first parent task. We have to give the priority to the child. So now if I sorry, if I try to give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, sorry. So now if you try to here, see this one. So let's try to stop the child first. If I try to stop a child first, what is going to be happen? The child always, so dependent on parent, see this one. So child will not stop. Child is not going to stop. So first which one we have to stop first? We have to stop parent first. Now observe this one. We are stopping parent, right? Parent, parent. So we have done. And then next we are going to stop the child. See this one. We have done. Now both are suspended. Now if you check the show tasks here, you can able to see both the task has been stopped, right? So and then till this time, so whatever the execution it has done, you can able to see the data here in this parent table and then child table. If you observe the parent table, you can able to see almost so five like entries, right? I mean, so 5 times it has inserted the data into this, and then same one 5 times it has dumped all the records into this particular table, right, into the child table. Now, so the same way, so we can able to create this task for a specific schedule and then specific virtual warehouse, and so based on the dependency, right? So all these things we can able to manage within a task. When it is coming to, right, the topic of slowly changing dimensions, scheduling implementation. Again, we will come to this task implementation and we will see what is the actual utilization of this, how we can able to execute the things based on a trigger, based on a implementation. Then also we will understand the clear example of this particular thing. And if you observe here one more thing, so we have a like the for the assignment, so just a procedure how to call a our task within a procedure. You can able to see this just for a sample, but when you are coming to procedure concept, right, we are going to discuss about this particular topic. Just for the example we have given here, just try to implement it. And one thing, if you wanted to check a task history, what all the task is available here, and then so everything we can able to get it from the complete information schema task history. For example, so if you wanted to check, so last, so what all the task is available, you can able to see by using this particular task history, what all the task has been run, and then so those information. If you wanted to check during any specific period of time, we can give the specific period of time. If you wanted to check, so the task, so on the specific task name, so on the specific task name, so whether it is still running or it is completed or it is so scheduled, we can able to see all this information in information schema task history table. You can see this, but this one information schema task history, so we can able to see this the complete information. So what all the task it is available, see this one, so the id, order id, so and then so you can able to see the task name, what all the tasks so we have, and then so what is that particular the dependency task status, whether it is succeeded or running. If it is running, it will show you here it is a running. And then if you have any error messages, and then what is the schedule time, what when it is started, so what is the next schedule, see this one next schedule, and then completed, and then what is the root task id for that, the complete information you can able to see that. And if you observe here, see this one, you can able to see graph version, right? This is only for, if you observe, this is for a the parent and child task, parent and child task, we can able to see this graph version. So when you like trying to execute so parent task without a child task, so it is telling that graph is not updated, right? That is nothing but this particular graph version, and based on this it will understand that so there is any like implementation is available, is there any dependency is available, so based on that it is going to give that error. The complete information we can able to see it here. This is about how we can able to implement a task, and then how to implement this in a schedule, how to assign that particular task to the specific virtual warehouse. So this is how we can able to create a task. Now, so let's come to the questions here. Just a minute. You can see some of the questions. Yeah. Does the child and parent table have a primary and secondary relationship? Yeah, so we can able to create it based on the dependencies. Let's assume that, so first it has to be loaded the data to the dimension table, then it has to be loaded to the like a fact table, right? In that particular situations, we can able to create this implementation. So based on the relationship also. And child has dependency on parent task, but mention we need to resume child first. Okay, yeah, this is for example, yes, that is correct, child is having a dependency, but when it is coming to running, right? So if you run the child task first, it doesn't understand so where to pick the parent. That's why first we need to run the parent first, then only we have to resume the child. So then it will so understand. That's why we are resuming the child first in the parent and then child relationship. So then the child will keep on waiting for the parent. So then it will understand. So that's why so we have to run the child first. That is the concept here. Child has
Yeah, Dinesh.
yeah.
Yeah, so you said like once
more
we I mean start the parent first, then child cannot actually pick up the parent task where it has started, right?
Yes.
In the correct I mean scenario, so first we'll start the child,
child,
and
yeah.
then parent then next.
We will
So
start
all the
next.
previous executions of the parent, it won't actually consider. So it will
No, it
consider
won't consider current
the
execution only.
recent. Okay, so
Yes, exactly.
it will pick up the recent execution of the parent
Parent.
task, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. And yeah, the 1,000 tasks, right? What I mean to say is here, for example, we are all working in a account, right? We are all working in a project. Now I created 2 tasks here. Like that, you can able to also create a 2 tasks in the same account, right? With a different user. All users together within one account. This is one account, the account which you have created. Within one account, you may have n number of users. Like I logged in with a Snowflake 8 user, right? Like that, we created another user called test user initially, right? This is another user. Like we will have in a project, if you have 10 users, I mean 10 developers we are working, all the 10 developers together, they can able to create 1,000 tasks in within single account. That is the meaning of that particular total 1,000 tasks. Okay. Yeah. Which programming language will be used for the scripting? Can I use Python? Which is the best? Yeah, Rakesh, there is a multiple options here. So we can use like Python, we can use JavaScript, and then we can use like PySpark. All are like acceptable here. So for example, if you observe, so it's integrated with all the languages. For example, I will use stored procedures. For example, so here, see this one, it is going to, so by using JavaScript, it will accept, and then by using Python, by using Scala, and then this is by using SQL. This has been recently reintroduced, like almost so 7 months back. It has been introduced recently. Before that, so they are using, if any requirement is there, then they will use Python or will use JavaScript. So all are acceptable here. Mm. So how to which language is popular? The language, we cannot say that exactly, but the thing is, most of the like some of the project what I have observed is, if they have any requirement, they were using kind of Python or JavaScript. So that is a thing. Yeah. So, and how to start? Yeah, all the child task followed by the parent task. Yeah. So when you are having a child task, right? So we have to start like a child task one by one. So we should by as per the best practices, right? So we won't keep so more than like 1 or 2 dependencies. So that is not the good practice. So always we have to start the manually the child task, then only we have to start a parent task. So that is a process. Yeah.
So Dinesh, actually, if we have multiple child
Mm,
tasks for the same
mm,
parent, so
mm, mm.
we started one at
One child task I started. Yeah.
we start more
Yeah.
than one task at
Yeah.
once.
No, one task we have started. So based on the graph, right? For example, if you observe here, the 2 is there, right? Now this is parent,
Mm.
this is a child.
Mm.
For this particular, so this is a parent, for this is child, right?
Yeah,
In these 2, which one you will start first? This one we will start first,
yeah,
right?
in that,
Because
yeah,
this is a child.
yeah.
So then then this one, right? Based on the graph. So the dependencies we have to like take care of
Correct.
the execution. Yeah.
Yeah,
B can be started only after D, E, F,
can
right?
we start? Yeah, can we start D, E, F at once?
D, E, F. Yeah, we can start.
So
We
how
can
the
start. But
command,
these are different. So same thing. So one by one we have to execute.
one by one?
Alter task, task name. Yeah.
So
Okay.
we need to give 3
Resume.
commands.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Dinesh, I mean, we need to give
Mm.
3 commands: alter, task name.
Alter task, task name, and then same thing. So here, whatever I have given here,
Mm.
sorry. if you observe, so this one, alter task, task name, resume, right? The same way you can give the 3 different tasks names here.
We can put comma.
Not required. No, 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 that won't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Dinesh,
Yeah.
this task can be implemented to call some stored procedures also, right? Like you said, Python or any
Yes,
JavaScript.
yes,
Right?
yes, we can able to
So
do that.
yeah, in that case, uh, the current implementation that we have done just before, those are like just SQL things. But
Yes.
if we can, in case of any stored procedures or something,
Mm, mm,
if a child task requires to get some variable from the parent task or something like
mm,
that,
mm,
so
mm,
how it can actually share this a small amount of data between tasks.
mm. It is not like sharing in between the task, it is sharing in between the, like as you called, like a procedures, right? So we can call one result in another one, right? The same approach
Yeah.
we can follow here. So we have example for that in a stream concept. We will see that.
Mhm.
I will show you how to implement that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Can you explain the limitations? I know the tasks
Mm,
are
mm,
like
mm.
1,000 per account.
Correct,
So
correct.
is
Mm.
it
The
is that
limitations
limitation?
is, it is one more limitation is there. I understand your question. One more limitation is there. Always, so we cannot give more than 8 days. That is a one of the limitation here for the tasks. It means,
Uh,
so here we have scheduled, so for 1 minute, right? Like
yeah.
that. So we cannot go more than eight days before. We cannot give it.
Okay. So
That is
we
not
cannot.
possible.
So which means we cannot actually repeat
Mm,
the tasks
mm.
every ninth day,
Every
something like
ninth
that,
day.
right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So every eighth day we can schedule.
Yes, correct.
Okay, okay. So that is one more limitation.
Mm,
Yeah, this one task, thousands tasks per account. Is that
mm.
limitation for only this account or all
For
the
every
kind of accounts for every account,
edition, for all the editions. Yeah, we
for
have
all the
different editions.
editions? Okay.
Yes, yes, for all the
Finish
editions,
that
it will be
schedule
limitation.
for 8 days. Can you repeat that one?
We cannot go beyond 8 day schedule within
Beyond
A
7
schedule interval, bro. Maybe.
schedule interval. Yeah,
you mentioned 1 minute, right? That one maximum we can give 8 days, is it?
8 days maximum. We can give 8 days. Yeah,
Okay.
Dinesh?
yeah.
So if there is any monthly runs or quarterly runs or 15 days runs, if you wanted to schedule, you cannot do that.
Okay, that is not possible.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we since we don't
We have,
maintain
yeah,
the calendar here.
correct, correct. So for that, so we have to approach any third-party scheduling tools like
Okay.
Control M or Tidal or something. Yeah, someone is asking other question.
Yeah, Dinesh.
Yeah.
Can we schedule only the Snowflake related objects in this task, or can we have somehow invoke the batch scripts as well?
This one we can able to execute only the Snowflake objects, whatever we can able to do. If you wanted to batch script execution, there is an option for that. So we need to like write that in a kind of the Python script, and then we have to call through that. So that is the one option here.
But can we call that Python script from the task?
From the task, yes, that is possible. We can able to.
Okay, so which means if the Python task has, if I'm able to invoke the batch file from the Python script, and if that's a part of the one of the child, so is it going to wait until that batch is finished, or is it kind of a, so I'm just trying to understand, like if
Got
it
your
invokes the
question.
batch, how is it going
Wait.
to, was that?
It will wait for the task to complete. So because
Right.
we are like everything we are like calling through the task, right? Always the child will wait for task completion status, succeeded status here. This status, once it came succeeded, till that time it will wait.
Okay, and is there a way to time out as well? For instance, like say from the one of the tasks or the child,
If it is running more than expected
more than
time,
5 minutes, 10
right?
minutes, we want to cancel it.
No, we don't have that option for that.
Right.
Yeah. So only the thing is we can check this manually, this one, like a query started time, and then the current the execution time, we can see that, and then based on that we can do something. We can go ahead and then we can suspend the task. So that is a one option. But again, we need to come to the task history. We have to see the timing, how much duration it is running.
Right.
Yeah.
So looks like the
Good question.
very very tricky limitation.
Correct.
So which means there must be third-party tools which should be used to kind of schedule these kind of a task. So is there any do you know any kind of a tool which is
Yes,
kind of an
yes.
industry?
So they are using some now. The recently they started using some of the project. They started using Airflow. So and Control M and then Tidal. So these are some of the scheduling tools which they are using.
Sorry, I missed one thing. Airflow and what?
Airflow, Control M, Tidal, TIDAL.
Oh, okay.
These are some of the tools. Yeah.
I see.
Airflow can be integrated to
Yes,
this
yes.
one.
Yep, it can be.
But do we have service accounts kind of thing here? Like account, a Snowflake account.
It means what exactly?
Basically, see, if we create a users, then we will have actually user ID and passwords, right?
Correct,
So we
correct.
cannot actually provide these credentials for the DAX that we create in Airflow or any workflows and control MRs, so for the schedules.
Okay.
So how can we use user ID account passwords for that? So if we have any service accounts kind of thing, then we can use that service account to provide in a vault or something and integrate it with the Airflow.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Understand your question. But no, so we don't have that kind of thing. So generally what will happen is whatever the accounts we are having, right? So we will give that particular account. Everything will be done by account admin only, account admin privileges. So we will give this accounts for the integration thing. So, but in this service account case, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, I will check with this on this.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I know. Some time back, we have implemented the procedures from executing procedure here from Lambda functions. Anyways, there also we have to provide the user ID and credentials to execute any Python scripts in here.
So that kind of for example, so if you wanted to run the things from AWS or Lambda something, so we have to give our credentials. So or if I wanted to integrate with Python, through Python, if I wanted to run any execution, so utilization, then I need to give the username and password. So for this particular account, this is the account what we are going to give, and then we will provide the username and password. So that is the option we have.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have. I will show you that one. So easily we can able to understand. So we have the Python integration is available in our concepts. We will see that one.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.